Girl, We Need to Talk is a place where we have open, honest, transparent conversations centered around love, life, loss, and mental health. It started as a place to hold space for my grief after my dad died in 2018. But like me, it's evolved into a space where we as women can simply woosah, take a breath, and relax. We keep it a buck around here and have nothing to hide as we open up about topics that everyday women like you and me face every single day. So settle in and get comfy, cause girl, we need to talk. Tinderswindler, bad vegan, even ABC has a show called The Con because believe it or not, con men are on the rise. And they slide in your DMs and they slide in on your Bumble accounts and on your Tinder accounts. And before you know it, they done slid you out your panties and your credit cards. And unfortunately, I met one of these men and didn't even know it until about 10, 15 or so years later when I saw a hashtag that said John the Con. And that's because a man that I dated when I was 19 and then again when I was like 29 had been scamming women. But he ran into the right one at the wrong time and she aired him out. Her name is Jenna Richardson. And she is joining me on this episode of Girl, We Need to Talk. I'm your host, Charity Bailey. Jenna, welcome to the show.
Hey, well, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
Well, no, thank you for the work that you're doing because people have been reaching out to you left and right about John the Con. So we need to get right into it. He slid into your DMs and he was everything that you thought you wanted a man to be, right?
Yeah, wasn't even on my radar. I was on a journey to self-heal. I was working out, working on the inside, I never thought that somebody would show up to just destroy you. It was very odd. And how it happened, here we go with Tinder again. So I met Jonathan, well, he slid in my inbox January of 2019. At the time, I didn't know that he had stalked me. So that same February, I went to Mardi Gras. This random guy sent me a message on Facebook, DM me and said, hey, I seen your profile on Tinder. I know you're here visiting. I just wanted to meet you before you leave. Weirdo. Instantly, I thought, this is weird. I said, how did you find my Facebook? And he said, your name. But
he didn't know your name.
No, my Tinder profile did give me, I had my Tinder profile and my Facebook linked. And the way I spelled Jenny on my Facebook is how he found me. It's it's a unique spelling. So at that time, I didn't put it all together. But Jonathan, I random friend request. Only thing on his page was him working out and pictures of him with his family and his son. So I thought it was safe. But for months, he didn't really say anything, liking photos. Hey, you look great today. It wasn't even on my radar that he was interested in me. Girl,
it was
come
innocent.
May, very innocent. Come May, he was like, hey, I'm going to be in San Diego. I'm going to be staying downtown. I would like to meet you. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Still not even knowing that he was interested. So from that moment on, he was, hitting me up daily. Can I have your phone number? You seem real cool. I'm interested in you. So we did that for a while. He never made it to San Diego that month. But come June, in between there, it was hot and heavy. It was a love bomb. He was saying all the right things. I now know that he, studied me like a true predator. He came across as perfect, but yeah, studied me all those months. He went back on posts from 10 years ago on Facebook. Like my first post, he was reading about me.
So you talk about the love bombing and you say that he studied you. What did it look like? What did the love bombing look like? Because that's the thing. So many women don't really know what that looks like. We just know that it feels good.
Looking back, how it started was, let me have your address so that I want to send you something. And I was hesitant on people sending me things just because of my own trauma I had. My dad was a person who, brought gifts We never discussed anything. You get a bike. I blacked your eye, but you got a new bike. So how dare you say I blacked your eye? So he was like, hey, I want to send you something. It's going to be a surprise. So he would start sending me cards, thinking about you, flowers, playlist. He would send me a playlist of songs. It started like that. It was very subtle, but looking back, I just know he needed my address.
And Jonathan's good at that. So y'all, let me back up just a little bit. Jenna and I joked that we're sister wives because I met Jonathan at 19 at Jukebox at a club in Sacramento that was like a 18 and up club. And he was the man. And then I went off to school and it was whatever. And he was known for like spending money on girls and doing all this stuff. But I didn't know. And then at 29, he happened to pop back up in my inbox. Same thing. But I didn't like him at that point. I was different and he was different. Like physically, all of it. Like I was like, I don't like him. And he just kept at me, came at my sisters, came at my friends until everybody was like, give him a chance. So when she's saying that he bought cards, that he would send stuff, he's very good at shooting his shot and love bombing you. It's just now that we're learning what love bombing is. This was not a term that was out because folks often ask you, Jenna, like, how didn't you see the signs? Like, duh. And hindsight is 2020. And now we know what love bombing is. But back then it was just, oh, this is a fairy tale. This is a man trying to date you. What's your problem? So now here we are in 2019. He's in your DMs. He wants your address. To your point, you were raised under a man that did the wrong thing but gave the right gifts and never said sorry. So you're like, okay, even though my spirit and my intuition ain't sitting right, I'm still like trying to make sense of this and going, okay, let me just give love a chance, right?
That's exactly it. So I'm telling my friends, like, this man, he used the words, I'm pursuing you, which I felt uneasy about. And it was for a reason, intuition. But I remember telling my friend, like, I don't even deserve a person like this. I was thinking something was wrong with me that I couldn't receive this type of love. Yeah. And that's how he got me. And my friend was like, of course you deserve, you're a great person. He sees value, blah, blah, Yeah. The whole entire time it was my intuition being like, back up. I ignored it.
Yeah, but that's how these men do it. They turn you against yourself. I thought it was just
my trust issues. Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought it was me that was coming in seasoned. It's like I like to call it trauma.
But the thing is, you, like, in our conversations, you told me that you were fresh out of another relationship, that you had started healing and started that process, taking care of yourself and doing you. So you weren't even like really tripping off of a man. He just helped you to get your guard down.
He did. I was so in my own little lane. I was living life, which Jonathan is attracted to people's light. It's not a money thing, or if he can get over, if he sees that, that your light is shining, maybe you have a great group of friends, maybe you like to travel, because he's sitting back in the cut. He's just waiting. So he was attracted to my light because I damn sure didn't have no money for him.
Well, you got lights, sis. Like,
I got light. I know that, but I ain't had no money.
I know, but you rocking the ball fade now, but also you wear wigs and different color hair and big hair, and you fly and your frames, and you have lots of friends and people like you, and you were out living your best life. Like you said, New Orleans, traveling from city to city, dropping it low with your friends. Yep. And it's so funny because when your videos started to go viral, because you started to tell your story in a way that a lot of us wish that we were able to, like the videos came to me and my cousins and friends were like, yo, she looked like you. And again, if you're looking at this right now in 2022, you're like, no, she doesn't. But if you take pictures of us from before with our big hair and we were both like plus size and, outspoken and vocal, and he's a vulture just like waiting, sitting in the cuts to be like, whew. So he got in your DMs in January. Y'all started dating in May, and it was a whirlwind. So like gifts and fun and traveling. What did that look like?
A good time. I mean, he had what I would call disposable income, and a lot of it, which I thought, My children, I have 2 boys at the time. They leave for the summer. They go back home. So as soon as my boys were gone, because I was not going to introduce Jonathan to my children, as soon as they were gone, he was here. And it was just like, he was everything I didn't know I needed. He was consistent. That's how he got ahead. This man is consistent. He's making sure that, every morning that he's talking to you, at night he's talking to you, sending me text messages, girl, just doing too much.
Early morning and late nights. And he's involved in every part of your life.
He is. He was texting me. I would get up at 4:30 and go work out in the morning. So he was hitting me at 5 o'clock because he was going and opening up the gym because he was this regional manager. Not true. None of it's true. This man ended
at
up,
a fitness company is what he sold you, right?
He did. And I talk about it in my videos and how he got over on them too. He allegedly was embezzling. Allegedly. But they didn't want to come forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just so y'all understand, he has gone to prison, federal prison, for several things. And every time he goes, he resets. So when he came out for you, he had lost like 100 or 200 pounds. And he was a fitness coach or fitness expert, trainer, purchasing a gym. For me, he was a dentist in dental school. And that's why he was up at 4:30 in the morning. But really it was that he lived at home with his mama and them. And they woke up at 4:30 in the morning and their alarms went off at that time. And that's why he was up calling. It wasn't that he was going to work. So for you, you go to the gym at 4:30. He was calling you at 5, but that's probably because he was living in their house still doing that. So again, he was attentive and he was consistent and he was all of the things that they sell us in these fairy tale romances and rom-coms. And even though you're going, this feels weird, everybody else is going, this is great. This is what you prayed for. You deserve this. So you allowed him into your home, and then what?
That was June. So how he gained my trust, another way, he mentioned that he had this sister-in-law and his brother lived in Arizona. And she's a flight attendant is what he told me. So he had her texting me. I thought I was texting Lisa, but come to find out later, it was Jonathan texting me through an app pretending to be Lisa. So that's how he gains your trust. Jonathan's a great guy. He's been heard. I've heard so much about you. He really is into you. Can't wait to meet you. Let's do a girls' weekend. I'm going to be in California, fly up here, all of that. She was sending me emails. Yeah, she was sending me emails. Like, that's how he gained my trust, is that he had this family member. He was giving me access to his family. He has a son. He was FaceTiming me with his son or FaceTiming me when they were at the park playing basketball. Like, very little they're subtle things that would make you think that this person is great for me.
But because you have sons, this man has a son and he's spending quality time with his son. He's doing all of the things to make you, again, let your guard down and go, this guy is a good guy. So when people start to say, like, how did you fall for that? You're like, it's easy to fall for it because they've studied you so long. So that was June. I've seen pictures. Y'all were at festivals. I think at the time you were eating vegan, so he became vegan. Y'all were taking trips. Y'all started meeting each other's family members. And then August comes. What happened in August?
I got engaged. It was perfect. Like, Jonathan's a big dater. Like, be ready at 7 o'clock. That's the energy I need. Like, be ready. I'm like, well, what do I wear?
Everything, the wig.
Hey. Yes, that is Jonathan. Be ready at 7. I'm wearing this, or what would you like to wear? That's what I mean. He's so ahead of these other men because he's consistent and he know what to do. So we went to a restaurant. I thought I was getting engaged. So, I've kind of felt down the jacket and little coat he had on. I was like, I don't feel no ring. Homeboy then pops the question in front of all my San Diego friends and family that's here. They were so happy. He gave me this big rock that I didn't want. I'm more subtle. I have a very big personality. The frames, I tend to be, let me tell it, fly. I don't need no $5,000 ring on. That ain't me. That's drawing a different type of attention. I don't need that. He gave me this big flashy ring. My family, friends celebrating. We're like, you're getting married, and started wedding planning.
But they didn't just show up; they were a part of it. Like we have
Oh, of
videos
course.
and pictures, and we'll show them. Our
Yeah.
podcasters, y'all got to go over to YouTube so you can see some of this. But it was grandiose. It was something you see on a reality TV show or a movie.
Roses. My friend's, she's a decorator. She does party events. He hired her. Come to find out, y'all, he was asking them for money for the engagement party. I was like, wait, why would y'all give somebody some money? Y'all know better than this. I don't
He's
date
slick.
brokies. I don't date brokies. Why would y'all want me to be engaged to a man that's asking y'all for money for an engagement? If he ain't got money for an engagement party, we don't need to be engaged.
Well, and that's the thing. So again, I'm just trying to bring it together for our viewers and listeners, because when I dated him, even at 29, like he got my guy cousins and a couple of my friends together and was talking about, I'm gonna take all y'all to the Raiders game, because he worked for the Raiders back in the day. No, you worked in sales in the basement, sir. You were not a part of the Raiders team, but that's different. Okay. And so my sister called it out like, yo, y'all do know that my sister is a mad football fan, and anybody that she dates is not gonna just go to the football game without her. But what it was is that he does these things to get money out of people. And so because I was like, yeah, no, let's not do that. If we go to the game, we'll give him the money when we get there. And then on my 30th birthday, same thing. He planned this big trip to Napa and had told everybody to give him the money. And I said, we'll give him the money when we get there. And it all unfoiled and unraveled over time. A bounce check here for a Verizon bill that he paid because he takes care of things led to me asking questions and doing my own investigation and calling the bed and breakfast in Napa and realizing that, wait a minute, that credit card fell through after he booked it. So he booked it, printed it, gave it to me as the gift, but it had already fallen through. And so his ploy is to get the money from the people. He also did this to the woman after me, planned a big old reunion for her whole family and had them at the airport waiting to go to Vegas, and had ran off with the money. So when people are listening to your story and they see the videos that have gone viral, they're going, how could you fall for that? They don't understand that this man is good. He could sell water to a well like a fish to a tail, like for real, for real.
And we did premarital counseling. I had a therapist tell me he was good to go.
So he done tricked the therapist, child.
He tricks everybody. Yeah, and yep. She was the one who told me that after this all went down and I started putting it together, I had to come in for a session. She was like, hey, can you come see me today? And I'm like, yeah. She was like, how are you? How are things? And I'm like, I don't even know this side of him. Only his name and birthday is correct. Y'all have to realize I met his mama and his daddy. I met his son.
Same.
He flew me up. He flew me up to Sacramento. We went to San Francisco. Went to San Francisco, ate pie with his mama. His dad asked me questions about my career. It was just like,
and they question you like it's you.
Girl. He took me to the restaurant that his parents met at 47 years ago. Come to find out, he took another 30 people there.
Child, he tried to get me there, and I was like, no. He told his mama his mama and sister sat and fixed their faces to say, we just want to make sure that our son gets with the right person. At the time, I was a journalist, no children, no nothing, doing my thing. I was like, excuse me? We just want to make sure that he's doing what? Right. Like, y'all are women enabling this. Come to find out years later that he is stolen in high school. In high school, a girl contacted me, and this is before all the social media stuff. I ran into her because the world is so small. She said, oh, no, we used to go to San Francisco. He loves San Francisco. We used to go to San Francisco and hang out in high school, girl. We was doing grown stuff. He would take me to designer stores. She told me he ran up $60,000 on his parents' credit card. If you steal for your mama and daddy, ain't nobody safe.
Allegedly, home invasion on the parents' house.
Allegedly, I heard that story too. Yep.
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 And what I want your listeners to know is that, did I do a background check? That's what you did. You should have just did a background check. My friend did a background check, and I felt bad. She was like, "Hey, I have this in case you want it." And I listened to one thing. The first thing that came out of her, she read to me, it was a DUI, I think 2007, 2008. I felt bad. I said, no, he already told me about the DUI. I don't want to look in that. How I excused it was, how I excused it in my mind. I said, well, shoot, my bad.
It's okay,
how many times
girl,
I could, okay. I was like, how many times could I had a DUI? He just got caught.
I just didn't get caught. That's the thing, though.
Not this version of Jenna. Young Jenna. Young Jenna. Not this 40-year-old Jenna. Yeah.
Right. No, not 41-year-old Charity either. Actually, 19-year-old Charity wasn't getting a DUI either because I was a whole church girl. But I'm saying, like, 29-year-old me, the son's mom reached out to me and told me all of that. And he was like, she's trying to ruin my life. He tells you enough to where you go, okay, well, everybody makes mistakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did.
So, girl, this is the thing, y'all. Like, when all of this went down and we started contacting each other, we were like, oh, my gosh. Okay. So, all of this scamming happened. What made you go, wait a minute, let me start looking into this? What was your aha moment? This just can't be right.
A couple things. First, another way how it happens is he's constantly doing things, so you're not able to think. So
he moves
whether it's fast. Flowers, very fast. It's a trip, so we're planning a trip. Now I'm engaged, so we're planning a wedding. So it was, send me this. Do you like these colors? Let's go look at colors at David's Bridal. What about these flowers? What about this wedding venue? So we found a wedding venue in New Orleans that I loved, and he sent them a cashier's check for the deposit, girl. So that happens, and I thought we were good. Then I'm leaving work one day and decided I wanted to stop and work out. I wasn't about to leave this $5,000 engagement ring in the car at the gym. So I wear it. I lift weights. That's what I like to do. So I get back in the car, just so happen to turn my hand over, girl, and this thing is flaking.
No!
The ring is turning colors, and I'm like, whoa.
Your hand is green.
Not the hand, but close enough. So I stopped by the place he supposedly got the ring from, and they like, no, that's not
this ain't
us.
our work, sis.
Homeboy walks out his cubicle and walked right back and said, it's fake. And I was like, bet. So I'm calling Jonathan. I'm like, Jonathan, I'm at the jeweler, and they telling me that that you didn't get the ring here. We haven't even got to fake yet. He was like, I did get the ring. Don't worry about it. When I get there, I have the ring looked at. So once homeboy told me that the ring was fake, I called Jonathan back. He sent me the voicemail because he knew I was going to discover it was fake. And all this because I didn't even want a ring. That's the sad part.
I'm more ask you for none of this.
None of this. None. I don't even know. Marriage ain't even on the list. If it happened, it happened. But it ain't. I don't have to be married. It doesn't complete me. Yeah. I was just like, none of this is necessary. So then, finally he picked up the phone and I'm like, why? Why are we doing all this? Well, I needed money to buy a gym. He was supposedly buying a gym in San Diego. Another thing, I didn't need him to be a gym owner. I needed him to be able to take care of himself. And I got me. And he was taking care of himself plus me. Right. He was a bonus, baby. But he felt like he needed to live a certain life to get me, which, child. Thank you, Jonathan. You made the value go up. Apparently, I am that bomb, and I didn't even realize it.
It's not yesterday's price.
Listen, okay. So that's how it started falling apart.
And it just all fell apart from there. So you found out about the ring.
Within 5 days, the venue said, hey, the check, you never sent us a check. I remember all the details. We never got the cashier's check. We are closing your reservation. And I'm like, Jonathan's telling me, he's sending me pictures, y'all. He's sending me pictures that they cashed it. Yeah, which we know Jonathan is good at. He creates receipts.
And a
He
paper trail.
creates
He creates
receipts.
Girl, he created a check to pay for my rent when I was laid off. And the Holy Spirit told, listen, I'm a little raggedy, but God loves me and I love God. Something said, don't you cash that check. He said, I know you laid off and I know you got to pay rent and I know you got to. He gave me a cashier's check. Do you know I took this cashier's check to several Wells Fargos? Several. And they all told me it was fine. Do you know who saved my life? A black woman. I'm going to look right in this camera. Black women save lives. I took it to several cash checking places and they all told me it was fine. A black woman, because I would not let it go. My coworkers at the time were like, well, if everybody said it's fine, do it. And something, the Holy Spirit, my intuition, my ancestors, whatever you want to call it, were like, don't you cash that check, sis. I took it to this random cash checking place at like 10:45 at night before they closed. And this little old black lady in there said, oh, this is a good one. Now, podcasters, I'm rubbing my hands together. She said, this is a good one. He had put it in a card with this beautifully written note about how I got you. You don't have to worry when yada, yada, yada. And she said, I deal with enough reals to know the fake.
Oh.
And that right there, preach. And she said, I'm going to show you a real one and I'm going to show you this one. There was literally the only thing that was different, because she said he got the color stain right. She said he going to go to jail big time if somebody catch this one. The color staining was right. It was a cashier's check. All of it was correct. The thing is, in a real one, there's a little like ribbing, like a metal ribbing that's not metal. I can't explain it. She said it's missing that. The line is there, so it looks like it, but when you touch it, so what she did is she brought me a real one and she brought me that one. And she said, touch this one and touch this one. The only difference in his was the ribbing down the side. And she saved my life, because if I had cashed that, I was going to jail, federal prison, because I cashed it. And several Wells Fargo, even managers told me to go ahead and cash it. It was fine. He's good.
He
y'all.
loves
When I tell you he's
Wells
good,
Fargo.
Huh?
He loves Wells Fargo because
he loves Wells Fargo.
That's he was sending me emails from Wells Fargo. He was sending me emails from realtors. He creates this entire life that if you start to question yourself, he gives you proof before you can even question him why you shouldn't even question your intuition. It'd be like, oh, here's the proof. Constantly.
He can recreate any
He's
document.
great at fraud.
Yes, he's
That's
great
what
at
got
fraud.
him in trouble with me, though.
He's
Fed time. It's something special to do Fed time. Yeah. So that's what got him in trouble, though. He was supposed to be coming to San Diego and bringing his son. My baby mama got to be at work, or she not letting me have him. He was giving me all kind of excuses. Then he faked being arrested for kidnapping his son and came up with a fake police report for me. This all went down with the ring.
He can do reports quickly too.
Yeah, it was, but he had used some type of format off the internet, but forgot to remove the format. You know, when you put date, like you trying to do a resume. Yeah, you know how you create a resume and it'd be like name right here? He left name right here and then put like Jonathan on the side.
So once you caught him slipping, you ended it. And then you decided to do your videos to let people know who he is, what he's doing, and it went viral. Did you ever expect for the videos and your story to go viral?
Never. I don't even think like that. You know, I'm under the radar. I like a simple life. But I did it to save one person. That was what I was thinking. After I discovered the baby mama, he had put her name on that fake police report, her middle name. And I took that name and found her on Facebook and sent her a DM. And when I tell you, she said, I've been waiting for you.
Listen, because she's an upstanding woman. She reached out to me and said, hey, sis, he got me pregnant, had me go to the Bay Area, created this whole life as a dentist, and it was not true. And he was like, she's just trying to ruin my life. Listen, that woman,
she do the work. She did it.
Yep. So she was waiting for you because she reached out to me, and I still went forward because he was able to God blocked it. That's what that is. I got a hedge of protection around my life, and God don't play about me. But he ran through other women,
Period.
and when she would try to tell them, so I think she stopped. She was waiting for you because she's been trying to tell women, and they're not listening because he's so good. Yeah.
So once she told me that, and what it did was just, so what happened was I started to think I was crazy. So you start replaying those conversations and these things, and I'm like, something ain't at. He do a lot of therapy. I've spent a lot of money in therapy since then because I had to learn to trust myself. But so she was just like, no, you're not crazy. I'm gonna give you names. I'm sending you this, that. So she started sending me other women. I think at the time I did the videos, it was 4 or 5 other women that I had spoke to. And once I figured out how he got away with it, I said, oh, I won't be silent. We're all very similar. Y'all my sister wives. These are women that I would go to brunch with. These are women that would be in my circle.
Listen, when I talk to you, so the videos went viral, and of course people in Sacramento, I logged on to Facebook one day and just saw John the Con. And my friends and family, and also that's the other thing, like fellas, some of y'all knew this and y'all just wasn't saying nothing, whatever, but the ladies was like, listen, look at this. And then you and I talked, and I was like, the crazy part is, it's one thing if you see a woman and you like, this broad, I would, like, she dumb, I would never hang. No, these are smart, paid, career-driven, educate. Like, I'm like, when we talked, we was like, sis, let's kick it. Like, we're literally people that would hang out.
The pandemic saved his ass because I was coming to Sacramento to do interviews because it's so many of us, and it's not even just women. So it's not a sex thing with Jonathan. It is a con thing. He wants to con. So it was men. After I dropped the videos, it was men in my inbox. Jonathan stole my rent money. I was homeless because of Jonathan. That was a family member of his who told me that.
He robbed his mom and daddy. He robbed family members. One of his friends said to me afterwards, like, yo, a lot of the money that he spent on your gifts, because he was love bombing me too because I didn't like him no more. So he was just like trying to make me like him with gifts. And he was like, I've given him thousands of dollars. And I was like, why you didn't say that? Oh, he just told me his car was broken down and yada, yada, yada. So yes, it's not just women. Like, he's like a legit, like,
opportunist, any type of
opportunity. Psychopath and terrorist.
He gets, yes. So even when I went and spoke with the therapist afterwards, and I told her everything that was going on, she was the first person who told me that he was a sociopath with a personality disorder. And she told me that my life was in danger. That was all. That was literally 2 days after me and Jonathan broke off. She told me that my life is in danger. And I said, well, if my life is in danger, let me air him out. And that's what I did.
Now I got nothing to lose, and the people need to know. So you did the videos, you went viral. Other women are now reaching out to you, but then also you told me that because you have children, so you're looking over your shoulder because you let this man into your world. How does one recover from that? You moved apartments, all of that. How do you recover, and how do you trust yourself again after that?
The recovery, I'm still recovering. I think it'll be something that I have to put work in for the rest of my life. Jonathan was in my dreams, still will pop up in a dream. That's PTSD. I have spent a lot of money on a therapist because after this, I knew if it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone. That was the thing. And I had went against my intuition. I thought it was literally years of damage, that I didn't deserve a person like this. I told my intuition that she was wrong, that he's a great guy and I deserved it. So after all of this, I had to do a lot of work. And what you see in my videos is not a sad, depressed Jenna. It was, hey, let me get this information out here for y'all, because if he did it to me, I know damn well he gonna do it to y'all. Boop. And I put it out there. So at the time of the videos, it was 4 women. Once that first video went, I had at least 30 women in my inbox telling me about, and a few men. Then it went up to 50. Women are still hitting me. I had somebody hit me this past January. He's in Reno running game on men and women. That's where he's at. He has a new name. So it affected me to the point where I thought after I went viral that Jonathan was going to kill me. And I decided that I was okay with it. I was so sad and depressed. I'm like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to use my voice dying. If he killed me, I was looking over my shoulder because he knew where I lived, knew where I worked. He knew my life because he's a predator.
He infiltrated your entire life. Yes,
Everyone loved him.
Yeah.
Everyone loved him. So that messes with you. Yeah, and I was okay with dying.
Well, and I think that's the thing, though, too. What people don't understand is once you're not afraid of whatever that thing is, whether it's death, destruction, whatever, then it's like, what you want to do?
What's left?
You can't do nothing to me because now I ain't afraid of it. But like that whole turning you against yourself, especially as a woman, your intuition is telling you, but your logic and the people around you and societal standards and all the things are like, no, you're wrong, but you knew that you were right. Have you discussed any of this with your children? Like, what has that been like?
No. I haven't, and I don't mind because we talk about a lot of other really good things. I'm okay with telling them. It just hasn't popped up. They only literally spent like 2, maybe 4 days. Because remember when he was love bombing me, my children were not here.
Yes, they were in a different summer.
Yes, and I would not dare let somebody I didn't know long meet my children like that. It wasn't. No, so praise God.
But also they might see through him, so that's a liability.
I didn't think that they would see through him. I thought he was great for my children. My years of being a single parent, being a black woman in San Diego, I wanted my children to see a black man love their mom. And I wasn't even in love with John. I wasn't in love with Jonathan when we got engaged. And people be like, what? How can you not be in love? I'm like, girl, that's fairy tale. I thought he checked off some boxes. I thought he had integrity. I thought he would be great for my children. I thought I could grow to be in love with him.
Yeah. Okay.
But no.
So you've lived, you've learned, you hope to love again and to trust yourself and to trust the love process. What do you say to other women about the con? What have you learned about the con, and what are some of the signs to look for?
Love bombing. And I didn't know what that word was, never used it. I say Jonathan was perfect for me because he was. He's probably perfect. He's a chameleon. Whatever you like, he loves. If you are into insects, Jonathan is now into insects and knows more than you know about insects.
He'll become
obsessed.
He will become a professional.
Insect keeper.
He was
had
told
different
me
wings.
I know a little bit about a lot of stuff. And after that, I was like, but the thing is, I know a little bit about a lot of stuff. I'm charming, I'm charismatic. I'm like all the things that he is. And so I was like, I met my match, but I don't use it for bad. I'm a journalist, so I need to learn things quickly and be able to get in people's world and talk to them about their things so that they can talk. He just uses his gift for evil. But he'll literally, because if you say like, I don't know, art, insects, paint, whatever, you're correct. He will become the expert at that.
He is. So what I've learned about men like this is they prey on certain type of women. And I didn't know at that time that I had all these windows open. And when I say windows, I'm talking about my soul. I'm really good about coping. I didn't realize that's what I was doing, is that I just cope. I get through things with a smile on my face because that's all I know. So there was a lot of unhealed areas in me, and that's how he became a predator. That's how I became his prey.
So what were the unhealed?
He was great.
What were the unhealed areas?
Previous relationship, the one before him, I wasn't completely healed with that. I would say I grew up in a 2-parent home, but my father was an abuser, physically and mentally. And I didn't even realize that what my dad was doing to us was abuse until John DeCon. So see, with me and Jonathan, it was a short relationship, but we were traveling. We went and saw my aunt in Illinois. My cousin got married. a week after getting back my aunt's credit card number. Somehow somebody got it. My 70-year-old aunt got her credit card number and was ordering shoes. It was, no one has ever stolen her credit card ID number, nothing. But all of a sudden, we got these issues, and she loved Jonathan. So when I had the conversation with her, like, he's a complete fraud, she was like, I seen the way he looked at you. He really loves you. You see? Is it something you think you can get past, is what she asked me.
No, he stole from you, ma'am. But even in that,
allegedly,
I'm sure when the credit card came up messing up, when her credit card came up missing, he was probably like, oh, we need to get to the bottom of this, and like trying to help so that it's a distraction.
Of course, he is a person that will help you look for something he stole.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the love bombing.
But
and yeah,
I will tell you this. Through this process, what I learned about myself, my purpose, and that is to create safe spaces for women. Because he wouldn't have gotten away with it all these years. Because on my YouTube channel, you will see that he started this madness in high school. I have an interview with his first.
I told you I met him at 19.
Yep.
God,
I have an interview with a young lady that dated. He was her prom date. So he's been doing this a long time. And how he got away with it is
to shoot for him. He was my first kiss. Did I tell you that he was my first kiss?
Girl, don't count that.
It was like this though. It was like, wow. Because it was like, okay. I was a square. I was the girl that hung out with all the boys. And like none of the boys could actually get me away from no boy could get me away from my homeboys. And they didn't like him. But none of them ever told me why they didn't like him. I'm like, if y'all had just told me why you didn't like him, y'all just made it sound like rah, rah, rah. And they were like, nah, because he's trash. Like he's fraudulent. He dates white girls and runs up for their daddy's money. But like my daddy ain't had that kind of money, so it is what it is, whatever. But yeah, I remember to this day we was behind the building at Jukebox, and the damn Nelly song was playing. Underlay, mama, was it that one? Going down, baby. No, it was the down, baby one. And he kissed me, but it wasn't like a real kiss. It was like I was 19 and like. But I think, again, hedge of protection, thank you, God. And then I got homeboys that would, like, murk him with no problem, and he knew it. But the thing is that I wasn't out here. I wasn't, like, kissing and humping and all the things. So he couldn't really pull me out and away from them. So he waited till 29 and came back as the evolved man.
If he would have gave you that homeless sex when he was 19, you would have been hooked because he got good homeless sex. Usually they nastier when they ain't got a home.
I'm not doing this with you, Jenna. I'm not.
I'm just saying.
Producer Aaron is rapping us, and I'm not doing this with you. But it is true. That is also a very true fact. Oh gosh, you're gonna make me lose my train of thought because he's good at that. You know how you get mad at a dude and you be like, that's why it was mediocre. You can't even. You be like, well, that part
it was good homeless peen. Girl, when they got more to lose, they do more things to you.
That's the thing. The reason I started the episode with Bad Vegan, Tinder Swindler, and the Con is because they swindle you out your coins and your panties. And he never got no coins from me because when he met me, I was laid off. And also, I just don't open my wallet for men because I was like, yeah. And he never got the money from you. He got it from your friends. But they do be having
it wasn't even much. Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even much. Yeah.
He got my panties and all that wasn't even necessary.
Yeah. But the love bombing is a real thing. You see it on social media. You hear about it so often. And like that whole fairy tale of like, oh, and social media helps them a lot with love bombing. Because he posts everything too.
Yeah.
So do you trust yourself now moving into like new relationships? How do you recover?
I don't know if I've recovered. I want to be by myself for a while. I got work to do. Still doing work. Ton of money spent on therapy. I'm not ready for nothing serious. Because somebody didn't call Jonathan's ass whooping and it won't even be their fault. And I don't want to do that to nobody. Yeah. You see, people that bleed on others. Yeah. I just don't want to do it. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. You don't want to be leaking. Interestingly
Yep.
enough, this Girl We Need to Talk is dedicated to my daddy, or should I say it started in honor of him because of the grief that I was dealing with. And we
Mm-hmm.
often talk about the purpose in pain, and you've gone through a lot of pain, but the purpose is that you're empowering other women, spreading the message and making them aware and alerting them.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? My daddy did not like him.
Mm.
And everybody said it was because, well, you're a daddy's girl. And, it's just that he's taking his place. My daddy did not mess with him. We would come in and be like, hi. And everybody loves him. My dad would be like, and he would say his few words and he'd be like, I don't trust that so-and-so. I can't say them words on the internet and the thing, but yeah. And he was like, I know his daddy. His daddy's a con. His daddy conned all the folks that allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly, but we know what it is.
Yep.
And my daddy was like, I don't trust him. I don't like him, the end. And everybody still played me against myself and my connection with my daddy because they was like, your daddy, well, you the oldest and you and your daddy are tight. And now this is a man that's coming in between you and your daddy. No, my daddy didn't like him for a reason because my daddy saw him, my daddy felt him, and my daddy is me. Yeah. So, all right. So what have we learned here today, ladies? Trust your intuition. Trust your daddy.
Right. So much. And as women, when you see someone else's suffering, speak up, be an ally. I did it for y'all. I did it for y'all. No matter how it made me look, I did it for you guys. And I hate when people say you missed the red flags. I'm like, apparently I'm a blood because I didn't know I was supposed to catch his reds. I was supposed to catch these red flags. How I was supposed to know these things. I didn't. I was just literally minding my business, thriving in life. And here he come. So I guess the takeaway would be y'all close them doors. Do that work. Because I didn't know. But shout out to Jonathan. You got my head together.
Hashtag John the Con. Go ahead and watch her videos. And
that's Jon. Yeah, they could be like, which John? Yeah.
Jon the Con. And you said something else very interesting to me too. You said that some of these other shows have made it to Netflix and made their rounds because white women have been impacted. But when black women are impacted the same way, that we don't get the same shine and we don't get the same publicity because people don't feel for us the same way. They say you shoulda, woulda, coulda. But with white women, when their shows come on, it's like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you. How did that happen? Right. And we're not doing that no more. Like we stopping that right here.
We gotta say, hey, wrong is wrong and right is right, no matter what the color is. When it comes to black women, it's always endure. Why I gotta endure pain? I'm not doing no struggle love. People was like, be quiet. Why are you talking about it? Just suck it up. Take a L. I was like, no, that's how people get away with it.
L's. We're not taking no more L's.
We ain't taking no more L's.
We scoring.
I'm not.
We scoring and we winning. And that's what you did for black women too. And also let's be very clear. He doesn't just stick to black women. He is here for people, child. Whoever wanted can get it.
But he likes black. His preference is black women. He likes a size 14 to 16. That's kind of his average. That's what we all kind of look alike. Career-driven women. Majority of us have at least one child. He has a type. Yeah.
See, I was at the beginning of his life.
Scam.
So I was like a size, ranging 16 to 24. I didn't have no kids, and I was just successful in a bright light and all that stuff. But he has, as he's aged, his target audience has aged.
Target audience. So, yep.
Yeah. So, ladies, just be on the lookout. Trust yourself. Listen to yourself, and also, ladies, don't be so quick to rush to judgment, to like push your friends into doing things when they telling you like, yo, something ain't right. Like, that's the thing. The community gaslighting and the community love bombing is also a thing. So, Jenna, we over time, child. I could talk to you about this forever, but we got to go.
Right. You gonna come to our podcast so we can talk about it a little more in detail, sis? So
yes, we absolutely will. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for being so open, honest, and transparent about all of your hurt and your pain, but also the purpose in it and your healing process. No problem. So, yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You bigger, better, badder, stronger. So cheers.
Hey.
being happy, healthy, and whole. And also,
Boo.
Johnny Cock can go to hell.
Yep. Hide your wife, hide your kids.
In a handbasket. Thank you for listening to Girl We Need to Talk. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Want to watch the show? Be sure to subscribe to the Miss Charity Bailey YouTube channel and connect with me across all social media platforms at Miss Charity Bailey.